To Winnie with love. Isn't that neat? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is lose some weight.
Yeah.
The president wouldn't get this big an event.
Oh, this
is great.
I got about 70 calls from people that weren't coming. And I thought, well, boy, that's nice. They could be called me. But I'm not ready for this.
Retirement. Yeah, you're doing fine. Well, I'm just glad I'm part of you. I'm
Yes,
part of
you
the
are.
Adventist tribe.
We need to get busy and take it beyond us now,
We've
though.
got a lot. I've got a lot of stuff.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah. Got a lot of stuff.
Okay. Hi,
right.
Jerry. We need to have a party. Everybody's here. Oh, Elna, hi. Oh, I had to get something as pink as I could.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I had a pink jacket, but I took my white skirt back. So
Are you going to the Bahamas?
Bahamas. I can't get in a bikini yet. I've got to wait till I lose some weight. Helen, it's good to see you. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm so glad you came. Ruthie, huh?
Party, woman.
We're going to have a party. I mean, we need to get up and dance or something. Shall we do it?
I can see Winnie. That's what I came here for. I can see all of you, but I wanted to see her most of all. Now, Winnie, I got to tell you something at the very beginning. There was a lady, and she was married. She had 3 small children, and kind of a no-good husband who managed to get himself into an accident and didn't make it. And so at the funeral, there was a neighbor that got up, and he just told what a wonderful man this guy was. And he sat down, somebody that worked with him got up, and he just went on and on about what a wonderful guy this was. Then came the preacher's turn. And the preacher got up and just eulogized this person. She reaches over and tugs on the sleeve of her oldest boy and says, "Junior, go up and see if that's Daddy in the coffin there, will you?" All I want you to know is that there will be nothing said this afternoon that isn't meant in spades. So we just hope that this will be a fun time for everybody. What we're going to do is have a very brief program now, make some fun and games. Then we're going to stop and we will partake. We obviously have the punch jumpers and the cake cutters. And we'll all mill around, and if you haven't had a chance to greet Winnie, you can do so. Then, because there are hospital employees that are involved, they all can't be here at the same time, we're not going to repeat the program. We'll have new jokes about 3:30 or so for those that come later. And if you want to stay, you're perfectly welcome to stay till 4 o'clock, but our intention is to kind of keep it light and keep moving. And it seemed to me that we're not alone here this afternoon in what we're doing, but Winnie has been such an integral part of the volunteerism of the hospitals in this area that the very first person to greet her should be the chairman of Area 1. It just happens that she also is the immediate past president of our association. So it's in a double role that I'm pleased to introduce Janie.
And she works 5 days a week as a volunteer. 4, 3, or something.
Hi, everybody. I bring you greetings from the Oregon Association of Hospital Auxiliaries. As the selected, I knew I was going to mess that word up, newly selected director for the Area 1 hospitals belonging to this organization, it is my first official task to represent them here at Winnie's retirement get-together. Since I'm also one of Winnie's active volunteers, it makes my being here a double honor. 4 of our volunteers were at the OAHA convention in Ashland earlier this month, representing our hospital's auxiliary. When we told the other hospital directors who were attending that we were losing Winnie to retirement, they were all totally astonished. Well, how will you possibly get along without her, was the question. It's the question we keep asking, too. Winnie has been our friend, our leader, our director, our supervisor, and the one who has kept things always moving smoothly. We are going to have much adjusting to do, but Winnie has trained us well, and we know we're all going to try hard to make her proud of us. A quotation from Brian O'Connell's The Meaning of Volunteering seems to fit here. There's something wonderfully rewarding in being a part of an effort that does make a difference. And there's something sparkling about being among other people when they're at their best, too. Winnie brings out the best in all of us. She's been our sparkle. Each of Winnie's volunteers will miss her in their own way. And the Oregon Association of Hospital Auxiliaries will miss a staunch supporter and a dependable consultant. Winnie, we all wish you well, a very happy and rewarding retirement.
Thank you, Jamie.
I do need for all of you to know that we've divided up the responsibility. When we first knew that Winnie was thinking of leaving, it occurred to me that I'd have talked to her and see what kind of a mood she was in, and at that time she said, I don't want you all to do nothing. Well, as the president of the auxiliary, I named a committee, and the name of the committee is, What Can We Possibly Do for Winnie Committee? And they're the ones that arranged this afternoon. Everything, Winnie, that's right this afternoon is due to B. Hogan, who was president in 1981, Beth Warnell, who was president in 1984, and Hazel Valentine, who was president in 1990. Anything that isn't right this afternoon, I will assume the responsibility for.
I need to, too.
We have a historian and a picture taker and volunteer and a whole lot of other things, but our next presentation is by Norma Jean Bellis. Norma Jean.
You know what happened on my way up here? Well, for one thing, my camera wasn't working, and if my camera's not working, you might as well shoot me, you know that. Anyway, in the last 11 years, we have compiled 65 books of memories of the volunteers, not just what happened to the volunteers, but I think if you went through the books, you'd find everything exciting that ever happened in the hospital. When the elevator broke down, when there was a fire in the parking lot, as the air flight was coming in, everything is in the book. Now, Winnie would love to have all 65 books. We've discussed this. I think
Might be missing.
I think we even discussed that when I kicked the bucket, I was to will it to the hospital. Anyway, what I've done, I've gone through the 65 books, and I've taken out a little memory here and a little memory there. And of course, she knows that she's always welcome to come down there in the lower level. And if anytime you want to know whatever happened the last 11 years, why, it's in the books. So Winnie, we're going to miss you, but we hope that the pictures that we have in this book will remind you of the good times we had, even the bad times we had. Because I take pictures of bad times too.
Yes.
Anyway, we're going to miss Winnie, and we love her, and we want her to know that we're looking forward to her volunteering with us.
We're going to let her accept it, but we are going to put it over on the table, Winnie, so others can see it also if they want to take a peek at it.
Thank you very much.
We have another presentation.
Oh, I'm anxious to see it.
Kind of interesting. It's going to go on for a minute or two. We have several presentations. The next one is by B. Hogan, and she has one or two things that she wants to pass on.
Winnie, if I have to stand up here, you do too. We'll both hide behind this. Anyway, this scrapbook of cards and letters is from the volunteers. And this is to use to put the rest of the cards in it. If you want to open this, I'll take it over there.
Oh, me. Ooh, that's pretty too. Just like the other one. Oh, thank you. Oh, dear.
You can keep that. Or do you want me to put it?
Is it something to eat?
Rubber cement.
Thank you. Okay, I'll talk later. They never will let me talk. See? But I'll get them.
Now, we recognize that when Winnie is sitting down there going through the photo books and going through the scrapbook with all of the notes and cards that you sent, she may want a snack. So, she does popcorn.
Amen. Is it real popcorn? There, I was going on a diet next week. It is.
On a slightly more serious note, whenever we get to the treasurer, it's always more serious. Walt Davis has a presentation that he would like to come forward and make.
Winnie, would you like to come up here, please?
See, I told them. Wow, another present. This could go on all afternoon. Maybe this isn't so bad after all. Yeah.
When we first started talking about this, Dale Wendt was going to say something before I did.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to tell you is that we took up a collection for you, and we had some money left over. And this is part of the money that was left over. And I've been watching you there fiddling with your hands and so on. You look like you were doing your beadwork there or something. But anyway, would you open this up, please, and see what that is?
I'll tell you what it is, I'll bet. He sees me sweating out in the gift shop with all of these. Is it? No? Oh, dear. Why don't you... Who thought I'd ever be nervous? Yeah, I think it's coming. I'm almost afraid to open it. Knowing Walt and some of these volunteers. So far, so good. Oh. Oh. It's a camera. I don't even own a camera. No. Boy, oh boy. Well, thank you, Walt. He's a treasure. He holds all the money.
This camera is supposed to be a real easy thing to operate. All
That's
you're
okay.
supposed to do is just point it and shoot. It's supposed to take out the red eyes and all that other
Well,
stuff.
that's what I need. Can I point it at myself and take out my red eyes?
And then when you go on these trips that you're going to go on,
Yes.
we'd like to have you take some pictures and bring them back and show them to us.
Okay.
So good luck to you. We want to show how much we appreciate you, how much we love you, and all the other thing goes with it.
You're great. Thank you for
Okay.
putting up with me. Poor Walt has to put up with this. That's neat. Witty. That's not weird. Wait a minute, I gotta put that away. You're gonna trick me, then I'll be a
Keep
patient.
it neat here. This is a dual, that means both and, kind of a party. When we again talked about it, instead of having one for the hospital employees and another one for the auxiliary, we decided it would be easier on Winnie and a lot easier on us if we just had it together, so that we have representatives from the administration that want to say a word. Dale went, as most of, oh, maybe all of you know, he is our official liaison between the hospital administration and the auxiliary. And then he's going to present Darrell Jones, who is the senior vice president. And they're going to be the official type of people this afternoon.
Yesterday I made appointments with several volunteers to ask them what kinds of things they thought I ought to say today. And they told me no jokes, because they said Woody would take care of that. So I left the jokes out completely here. Winnie did tell me something yesterday, though, that I want to remind her of. Winnie said, you know, I've had 50 people call me and say that they weren't going to be here tomorrow because they just couldn't, other things come up and they couldn't make it. She says, Dale, I don't think there'll be anybody here. I don't know what happened, Winnie, but there's people here.
Great.
We were going to have it in one room, and we had to expand into 2 rooms, so we're here to express appreciation to Winnie for the service that she's given to Portland Adventist, and not just the service that she's given to Portland Adventist, but the service that she's given to the Seventh-day Adventist organization. And I want to give you just a short little history here first. And it starts back in about 1946 when she started working at the Missouri Book and Bible House. Is that right, Winnie?
That's right.
A long time ago. Maybe that Missouri, maybe that explains some things. I don't know. Then in 1947, she became the business manager at Union College, according to the records that I have. And that's where I first became acquainted with Winnie, was because my father went back to Union College to go to school in about 1950 or 51, I think, and Winnie was there at that time, and so that was when I got acquainted with her. I wasn't in college, however, at that time. I was in elementary school, I think. Then in 1957, she came to Portland Adventist Hospital, and it says on the service record that she was supervisor of the front office. What did that mean, Winnie?
Well, they had the new wing, and I had all of the cashiers, all of the money that came into the hospital. My cashiers had to, we wrote receipts by hand then, and then we got to typing them. Then the switchboard was there, just a little switchboard at that time, and I was responsible for the place day in and day out, 365 days a year. Did you do
admitting there then too?
Pardon?
Did you do admitting then at that?
Yeah, I got people back in admitting.
Into admitting.
We were responsible, like for surgery waiting area, we had to do that in from our desk, you know, people that were waiting for others in surgery. And we just did everything.
And then in 1963, she went to the Oregon Conference Office of Seventh-day Adventists, and it says that she was secretary and registrar. So that told me you must have worked in the education department. Is that right?
Yeah.
And but she didn't stay there very long. Then in '64, she went to be the registrar at Portland Adventist Elementary School, and was there until 1977 when she came to the hospital to become the director of our volunteers here at PAMC. Only it wasn't called PAMC then, was it? Yeah, it was then. That was right after that. Right? Well, it was Portland Adventist Hospital when she worked the first time here. And if my arithmetic is correct, that's about 47 years of service. 22 years of those at Portland Adventist, almost 6 years in the front office, and another 16 and a half years almost as director of volunteers here. When Winnie started as director of volunteers in 1977, I'm told that there were 30 active volunteers. Today, there are 260 adult active volunteers and 85 active teen volunteers, which makes a total of 345. That's changed. In 1977, and I think, when I look at these numbers, that Winnie must have done a good bit of recruiting before 1977 was over, because they had 32,000 hours in 1977, but in 1992 we had 86,850 hours, so over double, getting close to triple the number of hours when she started back in 1977. And if we valued those hours at about $7.50 an hour, and I know you're all worth more than that, but that would give us over $500,000. And also during the period of time that Winnie's been responsible for the volunteers, there have been a lot of gifts made to the hospital by the volunteers. And you know, the way the volunteers get money to give to the hospital is they run a gift shop, they have bake sales, and they sell Mountain Man and various other things that they do. And over the period from '77 till last year, that amounted to $510,811 that the volunteers gave to the hospital. Now, we can't give Winnie credit for all of this, but we can give Winnie credit for being the motivation that got the rest of you to do the things that have been accomplished by the volunteers. Now, so far I've been speaking about things that are measurable. And I think that all of us would agree that there's a lot of things that we need to show appreciation to Winnie for that are not measurable. And that's really what I got the few volunteers to come in to give me some ideas on what I should say about those things. And but before I tell you what they said, I want to give you a couple of my impressions of Winnie. And the first one is that if a department head comes to Winnie with something that they want to have done by the volunteers, she seems almost compelled that she's got to accomplish that. And she does a job of getting it accomplished. If we come and ask her for something, she's going to figure out a way to get it done. And if a volunteer, my second impression is that if a volunteer, you know, we don't pay volunteers, so it's kind of hard to tell them, you've got to be here tomorrow. And volunteers like to take vacations and go traveling and things, and so once in a while they can't be there for the assignment that they had. And most volunteer directors, I think, would simply call the department head and say, you know, I'm sorry, that volunteer can't be here today and we just can't get that done. But most of you in this room know that that's not what Winnie does. Winnie finds another volunteer to do that job and gets it accomplished. And one of the people told me, they said that Winnie is an excellent public relations person and has a way of making volunteers believe that the hospital could not run without them. Any of you experienced that?
They can't.
And they can't, that's right, we can't. You know, if you all left someday, we'd be in a heap of trouble around here. Some of the other things that were mentioned to me, Winnie is very caring about her volunteers, and each one is precious to her. Winnie is going to be missed as director of the volunteers. And I didn't say Winnie is going to be missed because we expect Winnie to be around here for a while, just that she won't be director of the volunteers. Volunteers always feel free to go to Winnie with problems or for advice, even to call her at home, and she's always available. Winnie always goes the extra mile. Winnie is always happy, cheerful, and greets people with a smile. Now, some of you that I talk to, you may not recognize these statements exactly because I combined some of your statements into one here. Winnie was great to work for. And I already read you the one about public relations. And then one of them said that Winnie was fun to travel with. And they told me that when Winnie, you know, there's these meetings that volunteers go to, and there's state meetings and there's national meetings, and they said that Winnie would always rent a car and take the group that was there places, and she always took them fun and interesting places. But the thing that really caught my attention was when they told me about if the meetings went over a weekend, what she did. On Saturday, she made them go to church on Saturday, and then on Sunday, she made them go to church again. So no matter which day you worshiped on, it got taken care of, and those of you who didn't worship on that day got to worship that day anyway. Winnie, we really want to express our appreciation to you for all the things that you've done for Portland Adventist. And at this time, Daryl has something to give to you from the hospital. And I should say not just the hospital, but from the volunteers too.
Well, Winnie, I too got my start in Missouri. And when I was growing up in Missouri, whenever my mother would give me too many tasks to do, a saying I like to throw at her was, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. You've heard that, right? You know, somebody once said volunteers are those dedicated people who believe all work and no pay. I have not had too much experience trying to motivate volunteers. I do remember on one occasion I was head deacon and announced that our church was going to have a work bee, and when I arrived the next day for the work bee, I realized I was alone. And I decided then that I much prefer a management role where I have that ultimate motivator of a paycheck. I've got a tremendous amount of respect for Winnie's ability to work with volunteers, to motivate them, to inspire them, and encourage them. And Winnie, if you'd come up here, I have a couple of things for you.
Get the exercise.
The first thing I have is a picture I don't think Winnie realized we had, but Dale mentioned Winnie's ability to recruit, and we have here a picture of Winnie's rather unconventional recruitment techniques. I know you can't see this,
They feel that way
but
sometimes.
it has Winnie Jester standing at the doorway, and a couple of men are carrying in another man who's bound hand and foot, and it says, "Oh good, another volunteer." Now I have one more thing for you, and it's in my jacket pocket, and I have to admit I stuck it there after Dale gave it to me, and I forget if it's on the left or right. On one side I have my checkbook, and on the other side I have your gift, and I'll tell you, you're a lot better off if you pick the one with your gift, that's for sure. But oh, I got the right one. There you are. You want to open that, I think.
Oh, luggage tag. See what I
I think it's
Oh.
right here. Here's what you want to see.
That's what I want to see. This is a little interesting. I'm nervous. This certificate entitles Winnie Jester to...
That's from the volunteers in the hospital.
Oh, I can't do that. I should be doing for them. They're the beautiful people out there. $1,500 worth of travel credits to be redeemed through the Ely Galen Travel and Cruise Center. This certificate is Hey! Thank you. You are still the greatest.
Winnie, I had a real problem because when we talked about your traveling, there were 3 or 4 people that came to me and suggested where you could go.
They tried to do that. In fact, the whole committee's tried to tell me that the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we decided that it was really up to you. And the way we've arranged this is you can take one great trip to France. You can take a couple of trips to Disneyland or 10 trips to Lincoln City. In other words, we didn't decide where to send you. You decide where you want to go, and that's to help you get there. And in case you don't know, here's all about Hawaii and Alaska and Mexico cruises and, you know.
They don't want me to volunteer, I don't think.
You only can be gone a week at a time, though.
And I'll tell you where I'm going, like they tell me.
We have any number of projects that we do, but one of them is we give away frogs, as you remember or know, to hosts and hosts of people. And this is a special warm and fuzzy frog. I never heard of a warm fuzzy frog, but it's a warm fuzzy feeling, and I think it's a frog.
This is what, shall I open it?
If you can, yes, I guess.
Oh, I'm nervous.
You're nervous, I lost the program. We do have some special guests here today, and I want to introduce them now. We have Terry and Gary Ginrich. Terry, did your husband get here with you? It's Winnie's daughter, way in the back there, and the fellow with all the hair.
That's my favorite son-in-law.
Yes, all right. And then
Yes.
the man operating the camera over here is David, and he's making a videotape of all of this. That's your son?
Yeah, that's my son. It is a frog. This is what we make, for those that don't know, this is what we make for all the children, animals of this sort, for emergency and...
Fine. Okay, well, just to put your mind at rest, we're almost through with the first portion of this. There are a number of employees here and some volunteers that are working this afternoon. We want the employees and the volunteers to feel that they can come now and start the refreshment table, because the next part of what we're going to have is about a 4 or 5 minute, more or less, video. You better go over and sit down.
Did you say anything yet?
No. She wanted to know if I was going to let her say anything yet. We're going to take a vote on it, and then we'll let you know whether you get to say something or not. But no, I do want to reinforce what Winnie has said and what you already know, and this is that all of you obviously are a part of this, and that we are just thrilled that between the hospital and the auxiliary, we could make available to her the travel opportunities that are represented in the certificate and the camera to go with it. Now, there's a part of Winnie's history that, shall I introduce you, or or you just want to show the thing?
Let her roll.
Let her roll. Okay, those of you that are by the lights, if you switch, this is only going to be about 4 or 5 minutes, but you can come forward in the dark and get your name and stuff. But we've got something that Winnie does not have the wildest idea that we've got. Maybe. She's got a pipeline into so many places. I never know for sure that she doesn't know everything that's going on.
Are y'all going to leave now? Well, hello, Ruby. How did you like that business manager bit? I about died. Didn't you say? Yes. No, it wasn't. I love you too, and I'll be back. I didn't think anybody would come. I got some. You're not a volunteer, but you're a volunteer's father, so that's pretty important. I really appreciate you so much. Your friendship. Yeah, it's too bad. I would like to know what this is about. That's how I used to love. I'll be around. I like that. Yeah.
We were standing out in the hallway. We were standing always.
And you even came. I told I'd step aside. That's the whole secret.
Where are you going on your trip?
And I could also, I can't stand all this stuff because they're ready to
Blackmail payments, and we apologize that we could not find an early picture of Winnie and had to substitute a Hollywood starlet. Okay. Well, I think we want to thank the family very much for this added dimension to the program that we know in no way could have had by ourselves. Now, there is more in the program, and I want to present a woman that I have leaned on heavily over the years. When they asked me to come and be president of the auxiliary, the first thing I said was, who is going to be vice president? Because I knew somebody had to know what was going on. And Virginia Farnsworth, as you know, has served in that capacity and is to be the auxiliary president next year. And I wanted to not have so much male dominance here and get out of the way and let Virginia come up and take over for the balance of the program.
Well, I was going to mention to all of you who came what had gone on previously, but I think you've all been here, so I guess we won't go through that again. Anyway, I want to welcome you all, and it's just wonderful to see so many of you here to wish Winnie a happy retirement. And I wanted a couple of things I want to mention. One is that Larry Dodds was not able to be here today, and he wanted to. And also Lois Mundy would like to have been here, but she's gone to a convention. And you who haven't met her will meet her probably in a week or two when she takes over the job. And I want to say that when Jay and I came here in 1982, Winnie said, now you can't retire till I do. So I'm telling Winnie today that she can't retire till I do, once she gets her pink jacket. And I have an envelope here that was handed to me. It's for Winnie, and I want her to come up and read it. It's a special card. I didn't get to present her with anything, so Dale felt sorry for me. And I have to read it?
Oh, dear. Oh, no. No way. You've done so much for others for so many years. I'm glad you're finally getting the chance to do something nice for yourself. I still want to do it for you. Dear Winnie, enjoy your retirement. We wish you only the best. Your role has been such an important job in the hospital. What stands out in our minds is your wonderful relationship with the volunteers. Darren and Deanna like you so well, and we all appreciated the scholarships that were awarded to them. You will be greatly missed. Your friends, Ross and Diana Briscoe. And with that, they gave me a parking permit. Oh, I won't have a guilty conscience anymore. It's a lifetime one, too. You see it? Oh, too funny saying.
Winnie's always saying, I left my car out in front, I've got to go out and move it or I'm going to get in trouble. Winnie? Okay, now we have a vocal presentation by Flora, and everybody that's heard her knows she has a beautiful voice.
Changing, seasons come and seasons go. Very few things last forever, but deep within our hearts we know we're forever friends, bound by love that time can't take away. Forever friends, caring in a special kind of way.
you, Flora. That was beautiful. Now we have another treat. We have an original poem that Elma Helgeson has written, and she's going to read it for us now. Dear Winnie, administrative ability you shown to such a marked degree. With loving kindness, wisdom, tact, you filled your post, and that's a fact. You're a friend so kind and true. We are your friends who cherish you. Whoever told you you were old? Your working wings you now should fold and leave us in a muddle here. Who do you think can fill your chair? But though we dread to see you go, we will forgive, we love you so. We'll miss your warmth and cheery smile, appreciation for each mile that we have run, your willing crew, and we appreciate you too. Go with God's blessings and our prayers. Have joyful days, all free of cares. No knotty problems now to solve. May peaceful, healthy days revolve like rainbows bright through coming years. We send you off with love and cheers. God bless you. And then, dear Winnie, we're all so sad to see you go. You're such a precious friend, you know. But Winnie, dear, just look ahead, for this is not the end. And many happy, useful days still lie before you now. And we, your friends, surround you still. We'll keep in touch somehow. And knowing you, I know it will just fill your heart with cheer as you fulfill a happy spot now as a volunteer. So may God bless you your every step and keep you well, I pray, while friends and loved ones cheer you on with joy along life's way. Thank you, Alma. We have Winnie. We have a basket over here with many more cards, and so don't forget to pick them up when you go. And now I would like to reintroduce Earl Wood, our president, who has a few more words. Thank you.
I don't know whether Winnie or anybody else is anxious, but I can tell you that we're down to the place where there's only a couple of more presentations, but they are important ones. I want you to know that to pull together this soiree this afternoon has taken about as much work as all of the rest of the stuff I've done as president of the auxiliary, and that there are so many people that need to be thanked. You saw the ladies that worked over here, but I do want to say a special word to Jan, who has suffered through with me and helped me in a lot of ways, and I tell you, we appreciate what she does in the office too. The next presentation is going to be one by myself and John Korb, and it's kind of a funny thing, Winnie, because it isn't anything, or it isn't anything yet, but we've already voted it, and that it's kind of hard to tell you what it is because we don't know what it is. But the board has voted on behalf of the total organization that the next major gift that we give to the hospital on behalf of the auxiliary will be given in loving honor of your service to the hospital. John, you want to come up and show you in a more tangible form what this will really mean.
I work in the development office, and the development office is responsible for working with the auxiliary and other community groups to raise funds for the hospital. And I've had that privilege over the past 3 years, had many conversations with Winnie about the different projects that the auxiliary was going to support and what they were interested in, how much that they could contribute this particular year. Then one day I got a message through another person, came back to my office, and he said, you know, Winnie says that John never comes to see her unless he's going to ask for money. So to prove her wrong the other day, I had to just go see her and invite her out to lunch, and we had a little talk about that. Philanthropy means love of humankind, and I think that Winnie can be called a true philanthropist. She's worked hard and she has secured donations for the hospital through the auxiliary exceeding $500,000 over her term of service here. And we have a donor recognition wall in the lobby of the hospital that you walk past every time that you come in. And once we put a donor name up there, or a name in honor, a plaque in honor of someone, it stays there. It never comes down. So Winnie, in honor of your work here, the auxiliary wants to present you with this plaque that will go in the patron section of the donor wall that says in honor of Winnie Jester.
Oh. Thank you, John, very much. You're sweet.
It's true, you know, he came in and told me that he had just heard I was going to retire, so he came in and he was just sympathizing with me, you know, retiring and all of this, and so sweet and so kind and nice and everything. And then as he got up to walk out the door, he said, you know, it's the employees' fundraising thing for the year is coming up. He said, I hope he won't forget us. I told his secretary. I got a good lunch. Well, now I'm speechless. I could have talked all the time. I think this is really marvelous, and I don't know what to say. I'll try to put it in writing. But you know, everything that has been said about me this afternoon is because of each of you volunteers and the staff here at Portland Adventist. We have a wonderful hospital, and I know the staff and even the volunteers, as you go around to other hospitals, there's nothing like Portland Adventist Medical Center. And we hear it every day from our patients. The volunteers hear it, and they're proud of it. And I just love the staff. It's going to be hard, starting with Larry, down to Daryl, down to Chuck and Stan and Dale. Our leadership is absolutely outstanding. I am very proud of them, and I'm proud of every employee here. And I'm really proud of all of you folks. And I don't know what else to say except a great big thank you. They're marvelous.
And I hope it's obvious to all of you that I have a lot of fun being your auxiliary president, and that when I took the office, we had no idea that we'd have the opportunity of such a number of gala occasions. I would just put in a plug to remember that we will have the installation of our new offices in January. There is always an office to which one should aspire because it's the best of all, and that is the immediate past president. And I'm working on that one very hard. We've had a lot of fun this afternoon, and I'm not saying that what is coming up isn't fun, but there is a friend of Winnie and the family's that goes back many, many, many years, and that I think it's fitting that he come forward and speak. Elder Walt Glenn has been the head of the Adventist Hospitals, or Adventist Church Association here in the state. He's currently related to the hospital in terms of working some in the chaplain's office, but also heading up the development committee on the board of trustees of the hospital. And if he were a United Methodist, we'd call him Bishop. That's how important a man he really is. But he would prefer just Elder Glenn, I guess.
I'm nervous. I don't know what to say. I don't have a gift.
Shoot.
And I don't have my checkbook with me. And I'm not nervous at all. I just don't know, what do you say when an individual like Winnie is supposed to retire, professes to retire? Winnie will not quit. She might retire, but I was interested, Winnie, when they started to give a gift and you were a little concerned about that travel. You probably have all have heard about the pastor that was leaving. And they gave him a gift and he was traveling by train. But they said, don't open that gift until you get on the train leaving town. Well, he was curious, like Winnie, wanted to get into that box. Could hardly wait till he finally got on the train and ripped that box open. And inside he found a watch with a note saying, If you ever come back, we'll give you the works.
Oh.
Now, Winnie, there is no fate here, and there is no plan that if you come back, you're not leaving. The problem is you've got to have something to do. My recollection, and I have a philosophy and a theory, that you can tell a person's age by listening a little bit. If they talk about the good old days, you know they're old. And I appreciated the introduction for me this afternoon. He didn't say old blem. I'm getting sensitive about some things like that. But you can listen to people, and if they're old people, they're always talking about what happened years ago. Young people are always talking about tomorrow. Regardless of what the calendar might say of Winnie, she's talking about tomorrow. And she's planning for tomorrow, and that's the way it would be. I remember when I was elected to be president of the Oregon Conference, Jack Jester was the treasurer here, and Winnie, of course. One of the first people I remember, and of course my roots go quite deep and long in Oregon, but Winnie and Jack had us over to their house for dinner. And we felt absolutely like we were back home again. And those of you that know Winnie know that so well. Jack Jester and I, we had, I don't know that I've ever worked with a treasurer that I enjoyed as much as Winnie's husband, Jack. We used to play two-man volleyball. Obviously, I'm not that young man anymore, but we have had a lot of fun. And though, Winnie, I don't have a gift to give you, and I don't have a check, and I didn't bring my checkbook and all of that, I propose to you that probably the gift that means more than a watch or a fuzzy frog or whatever are the friendships and the memories. And those gifts are eternal. And Winnie, your gift to all of us has been that eternal friendship and understanding. And we want to return that. I'm retired now too. And I have discovered that retirement is simply cheap salary. I don't know that I've ever been any busier than I am, but Winnie, you've got to join us.
Okay.
In these retired ranks. We're going to have a ball, and those memories and friendships will continue to accumulate, and we will reap those happy memories forever. Winnie, God bless you, and you will continue being our very close friend.
Thank you so much, Walt.
Well, committee, you said 2:30 to 4. It's just darn near 4 o'clock, and we're going to stay another 15 minutes, I can tell.
You know, as they were planning this, I forgot to mention while I was up here a while ago, they're always trying to make me shut up, but you know. Anyway, as they were planning this, Woody and Janie and Hazel and Bee and Beth, you know, they were ready to throw me out of my office window. If I hadn't had the bluebirds of happiness on my window, I'm sure that they would have kicked me out. I didn't want this. I didn't think I could stand it. But it's been, and I want to thank them especially for it. And for those who have come out of town, there's Maxine from Staten. I'll tell you, I just want to thank everybody for what you've done. And Jan especially. She has been my sidekick for 11 years, and I've never made it without her and you. Thank you so much.
Come to this point, and I have a feeling that I didn't do as well as I might, but that's tough. We're absolutely delighted. We're overwhelmed. When we started out this afternoon, those collapsible doors were closed, and we were going to have the party in this room, and it became very obvious very early that Winnie was wrong. First time in her life that she was, but she was in error about how many were going to come out. And all I can say is, again, it would not have been a party without all of you, and I think on behalf of all of the committee, I want to thank you for being here, and We will look forward to seeing the ladies in their smocks and the gentlemen in their blue coats because there's work to be done around here.
That's right.
God bless you and be on your way.
Oh dear. I'm so glad you were here. How's everything going? Come by the next week or two and stop in.
Come on.
I see that. I know.
All these short kids. Hey, I can't believe it.
Here's our Charmalee. We're going to Hawaii. I've got the money now. I can go with you when you go next week. Next week, I saw you over there, and I thought, Bill. Yeah, bless your heart, huh? Yes, I'm going to be here all next week. so I'll be there sweet too. Bye-bye. Yeah, I got my jacket. Thank you. It's going to be very good. This is the closest thing I can find. My son. You were out there just the other day.
I was there on Saturday. We found this
because I came home, and the rug was put out, and there was off that desk.
Yeah, you know where we found the pictures? Well, I figured she can on the kitchen counter or something. She knows I've been there. There's one here on the anywhere. Well, you know where the pictures were? Down under those carpets are at.
Oh dear. Oh, I have money for dinner because she wipes me.
Well, we find these pictures, you know, we go through them. Half of them have got hair on it. It's torn out, but yes, it's not no longer in the picture. We're going to show some of those that have the hair off of their faces torn out.
And they were so sweet. I'll tell you, these people, I'm so miserable for it. I was so nervous. I was so scared. They were so sweet. Thank you, and I'm sorry. I'm sure you're probably and I just went over and opened up Ellen at 6. They weren't really open. But you know, that's nice to see. Have they gone now?
Thanks for giving. Helping out. Stop on by later.
Well, my friend, yeah, I'll tell you. Thank you so much. Boy, bless your heart. So, thank I just had a lot of rough. I've got to go. Okay. Yeah. Oh. But it was really overwhelming. Yeah, right.
top of the box.
It was Saturday. If it's been Saturday, we wouldn't have placed those.
There's a wall picture from 1945. I've seen those monsters down there. I didn't know what they were.
We don't want them around if they don't cut their bills. So all of a sudden somebody out there was over. Who did that?
Watering your
We don't want that. Oh, well, I can open that. So Gary, can I get a
Actually, I'm going to bury them. I don't know.
My sidekick, just from the chin up.
Oh, yeah, right. Good job.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It was made it easy. You guys did all a perfect job.
Oh, is that right? My wife's brother.
What do you think? Well, this light is very glaring. Behind the piano.
Well, I didn't quite follow that. I would have a girl. Oh, you watch your brother? Yeah. Dean Gainer. He's a Cape down. Okay, I'll go to Gainer. I'm not. Yeah.
Call me sometime not to commiserate with you.
I want you to know that you thought I deserved it.
Pictures. Well, I am too. They found those pictures. You know, I could tell that somebody was in my garage because going into the basement here was the rug had been moved, and then the table, the desk was all cleared off. And I knew that somebody was in there, but I went inside and I couldn't tell inside anybody was there.
But they did a beautiful job with that video. That really.
And I thought maybe they'd gone to a movie or something last night. They came and called me. They called me.
No, you talked about
Whose are those?
Are you silly?
She's Dora Jean's waiting for a picture of our family.
Okay, now Jean.
Here she is. She's right behind you.
I'll see you.
Yeah, okay. She's going to play and all of
Oh, yes.
and sing her out.
Oh.
Oh yeah, well anybody who knows Mom knows this is a phony picture.
You sit there. You really like our plan. Come on, Chris, you need to take a picture too. Come on up here a little closer. Gary.
Okay, I'm right here.
Okay.
Where's David? That's David's spot right there.
No, David is right here too. Come on.
Okay.
Play song, dear. Where are you going to play? Stop it. You're supposed to be serious.
I'll go out.
Tell me so I can hold my stomach in.
Here comes our last picture on this roll. She's been saving.
This better be good now.
Keith, why don't you get closer?
Winnie?
Yes?
This is what's fun.
With your camera. You've got a camera.
Is that
like
the kind of my
yours.
camera? You mean I've got one like you?
Yeah.
You mean I'm going to take pictures like you do? Oh, that'd be nice.
Well, they called and
You're
asked
the
me.
hospital photographer.
Yeah, oh, you ought to see the history that she's got of a hospital.
Casey?
If you get out a little bit, just like that.
I'm in front of Gary.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now here we go. Cheese.
Cheese. All right.
I
you
would
guys
like
didn't
to, I
say
wanted to
cheese.
get, Chris, why don't you, can you take a picture with Chris' camera with Chris in here?
That was pretty painless.
Oh, that is rewinding.
Here,
It rewinds
Chris,
all by
yeah,
itself,
there
it
you are.
loads all by
Does
itself.
yours
That's
have a
where mine
timer?
is. Well, it's got to be separate. That's great.
Takes the red out of the eyes.
Yeah.
Tells you when the battery is dead.
That's a nice
Close
one.
it, guys.
Here we come back. Back to the pose.
So
Hi,
you're
David.
never in the pictures. You're not going to
Let her take it. You come get in the picture too,
Yeah,
Gary.
let him take it. Gary, you get in the picture.
These are the first pictures my mom's ever made.
That's right. Mom, when we were going through these boxes, you know how many pictures we found that you're ripped out of?
We're going to show a few of those just
It looks clouded over where the viewer.
That's just dirt.
It's okay.
Is it okay? Okay, I'll take your word for it.
on your viewfinder.
Close in on
Clean
your
it for you.
subjects.
All right.
Thank you.
We're down there. Mom, they found your grandpa's old wallet.
Oh, they did.
I have to put the Roland Whitney.
Oh, did you really?
Wish I could tell you anything.
Grandma let you find.
Well, why didn't they read? Oh, Gary wrote. I thought that was Gary.
Where do you want the
That's what
background?
found that picture of your grandma.
Oh, really?
On the
Oh,
stuff.
really? Oh, really? Well, I haven't seen those pictures in 20 years or more.
And we found out.